we are predicting WWE and TNA crossover matches.
I'm the TNA Knockouts champion, Jordynne.
One that I really think has made an incredible transformation since she first really began wrestling to now is Rhea Ripley. I think it's just been a complete night or day transformation. I really admire her because she went from looking kind of like a Barbie doll to looking like this. Just really a bad bitch. She's awesome.
So WWE isn't prone to working with other wrestling companies. So this opportunity for TNA is mega huge. Now, WWE superstars like AJ Styles, Nick Aldis, Karrion Kross, and even R-Truth have all been a part at some point in their careers of TNA wrestling. And with this huge crossover, we could potentially see those current WWE superstars go back to their roots in TNA. Welcome back to the channel. As always, I'm your host, Joey Carney. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome home. I'm glad that you're here. If you are a new viewer or a new listener, I hope by the end of this video, you smash that subscribe button and join our community here on YouTube. Keep watching the video. I'm gonna be dropping some major information on my biggest giveaway yet. If you're a pro wrestling fan, just like I am, this is gonna be a huge treat for you. So if you're just tuning in, we are predicting major WWE and TNA crossover matches. And this first one I wanna start with is a huge 6-man tag. It's the team of NXT's Gallus taking on TNA's The Rascalz, which is Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz. But adding to that team is the original Rascalz member, Wesley, who is in NXT but used to be in TNA, bringing them back for a reunion for one night with this WWE and TNA crossover. The Rascalz taking on Gallus. Now this match is special because the fans have been asking for it for quite some time, despite WWE and TNA not working together at that time. Now they are with this crossover partnership, but it'll be interesting to see Wesley appear back on TNA programming, being under contract with WWE, being a part of NXT, joining his brothers, the Rascalz. Now, although that match, that 6-man tag I just described, is a huge dream match for WWE and TNA fans, another match I have predicted is along the same lines. It's another tag team match. This one is with TNA's Ace Austin and Chris Bey taking on WWE's The New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Now what makes this match particularly interesting is that all 4 guys individually have standalone careers, but together as tag teams, they're legendary in their respective companies. The New Day in WWE, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. ABC, Chris Bey and Ace Austin, and TNA, former World Tag Team Champions, brought in and debuted those new World Tag Team titles we see on weekly TV. All 4 guys, I think, would be a tremendous in the ring with one another. The chemistry would be off the charts, and well, again, it'd be a dream match. Now let's talk about what will be potentially the main event of this Worlds Collide hypothetical WWE TNA crossover event. It will be champion versus champion. It'll be the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose taking on the NXT World Champion Trick Williams. Now both of these individuals are doing their best work in their entire career. Moose coming from the NFL, going to become the World Heavyweight Champion in TNA. This time around, getting some of the biggest matches, some of the biggest wins in his entire career. Same thing goes for Trick Williams. Such a quick rise in WWE, taking out Carmelo Hayes, becoming the NXT World Champion, now being the face of the brand. It would just make so much sense to have these 2 individuals who have gone through so much in their careers to now go one-on-one, face-to-face, champion versus champion, potentially the main event of this Worlds Collide TNA WWE crossover event. And it would just be a match full of hype and entertainment. Now this next match I want to talk about may be the most important one on this, again, hypothetical, probably will most likely maybe not happen. Worlds Collide WWE TNA crossover. It is the TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace taking on the Iron Woman of WWE, the self-proclaimed BOAT, but she is the BOAT, Natalya. Now this match in particular, like I said, is the most important to talk about because Natalya's WWE contract is pretty much up, which means that once that contract expires, she can go sign with TNA and go on to face Jordynne Grace for the Knockouts World Championship, potentially become the TNA Knockouts World Champion, and run the division in TNA and then eventually come back to WWE because they are doing this crossover and be the champion for the opposing company in this crossover, which would make it really interesting and really unpredictable. This next match is truly the heart and soul of TNA versus the heart and soul of NXT. That being Eddie Edwards from TNA really doesn't need an explanation as to why he is the heart and soul of TNA. He's been there since the beginning of his career. He refuses to go anywhere else, and he'll probably end his entire career there. Plus, he has his wife, Alicia Edwards, there with him by his side. Now, if you look at the heart and soul of NXT, you have Tony D. If you look back to just a few years ago when we went from the black and gold NXT to NXT 2.0 with all the colors and the rainbow and all that crap that nobody liked, he was one of the 4 pillars. And now, all these years later, he is the only one of those pillars left down in NXT, really holding it down, growing his family, creating new stars. He really is the heart and soul of that brand. Now, the final match I want to talk about here really will be one of the most technical, one of the most hard-hitting, and probably the most brutal of all the matches that we've talked about here today. It is going to be NXT's Charlie Dempsey taking on TNA's Josh Alexander. Now, both of these guys in their own right are technical magicians. You see what Charlie Dempsey is doing in NXT. Of course he's going to succeed because he's the son of William Regal. Now, if you look over on the TNA side of things, Josh Alexander, he is a former X Division champion. He's a former TNA World Champion. He's a former World Tag Team Champion. The guy has done everything and more, really putting TNA on his back. So it would just make the most sense to have the two most technical wrestlers in respective brands, put them in the ring together and see what magic takes place. Now, those are all the matches that I predicted for the TNA, WWE NXT, crossover, Worlds Collide. Hypothetical, probably won't happen, but we hope it does, crossover event. But there is one more bonus match that I want to include, and that is AJ Styles from WWE versus Josh Alexander. I know I just predicted a match for Josh Alexander, but if we're really going to do this crossover in a big way, you have to include someone like AJ Styles, who is one of the greatest TNA wrestlers of all time. You did it, you made it, it's the end of the video, and I promised you I'd be giving some major information for a special treat on my big giveaway. I have partnered with SeatGeek to bring you my biggest giveaway yet. I am giving away 2 free tickets to a live WWE event in your area. Obviously, if you win, I'll get in contact with you and we'll figure out when and where. But all you have to do to get into that giveaway is enter your information down below. The link is in the description, and your name and your email. Less than 5 seconds to enter, and the prize is way worth the time. Entering 2 free tickets to a WWE live event in your area. Get involved now and submit your info. Like I said, I am partnered with SeatGeek, and if you're looking for other tickets outside of professional wrestling, maybe there's another sporting event you want to go to, or even a concert you want to buy tickets to, don't worry, I got you covered. Use the code TheAngleJoey to get $20 off your first purchase of tickets. Now, if you download the SeatGeek app, there are going to be 2 different colors to reference the type of tickets. There's green, which is good, red, which is bad. So in wrestling terms, green would be the babyface and red would be the heel. You want to keep looking for those baby faces. You want to look for the green. Use the code TheAngleJoey, $20 off your first order of tickets. I want to thank you all for tuning in and listening to this new episode of the Angle Podcast. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. You can stay up to date with all the episodes. Every week there's a new show, and I will see you in the next one. Go binge more content. I don't know what you're still doing here. Get out of here. Acting! 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 In the office. He does it. He goes, Acting! Are we rolling?